Oh.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
That's
so, I think I can change the
that's
setting,
why
but
Androids are better.
Debatable.
Okay. Welcome to On Air with LA Balloons. I'm Andrew, and this is Karen.
Hello, we are back for
episode 2.
Woo, episode 2. How exciting!
I don't know where to look now.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
We have a whole new setup, so
we got 3 whole phones recording this whole YouTube podcast thing right now.
Yes. Where do we start? I feel like
First of all, how come you got hair and makeup and I didn't? That's what I want to know.
I was here on time. Hair and makeup, they're here on time. So
all right.
I look a little better than I did on the first
episode. I didn't get the memo that we were getting hair and makeup done today.
To be up at 7 a.m. this morning.
Before we get into today's topics, which is balloon trends in the market and things that are happening in this industry, did you watch Love is Blind?
I did. So we had some of you submit a few questions or anything that you guys wanted us to talk about. And someone asked if we watch Love is Blind. And we do. What season is this?
I have no idea, but I actually do watch this show, and we do talk about this every year or every season.
Yes, we do. I don't know. I have mixed reviews on the people that are on the show now. I did see a lot of comments of people saying they want like more diversity. They just want like a lot of different kind of people, I guess.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. The one guy that threw me off was the one that had his list of 15 questions.
Oh,
that was like,
Matthew.
Was that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we actually know a guy, or I know a guy, who has that similar kind of personality.
Yeah. That one was like, pick a question. And the girl was like, number 4. He's like, yeah, no, people have already picked that one. Pick another one. And I was like, what? And then the other girl...
I like how he just walked out in... Literally before the girl could even answer the question, she was still talking. Yeah. And he just walks out of the room and was like,
that's
you
rude.
haven't even had a conversation. I mean, he called himself out for being a little bit socially awkward.
Yeah. But if you haven't watched Love is Blind, the newest episode, or the newest season, there might be some spoilers, so... maybe don't listen to what we're saying, but...
Did you watch more than one episode?
Yeah, I watched there was 8 episodes.
You watched 8 episodes already?
I went like...
When did you watch it?
I think over the weekend. Like, they launched on Valentine's Day, and then I started, I think, the next day, and then I think there was only like 6 episodes, and then they're releasing the second half this month, 20-something, I don't remember.
That's why people were making those comments. I just saw the first clip and the reactions from all the Instagram things last night, and we just watched literally episode 1.
Oh, you're not even done with it?
I'm nowhere near. I got past episode 1, and we needed to go to sleep. So I didn't.
Never mind then. I won't spoil it for everybody.
We're only going to get past my initial reaction, which was, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, Matthew with his Excel sheet and just kind of cutting people off. But then somehow the one girl, like, I don't know, got him talking.
Oh, AD. Oh, AD.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was interesting that she was the only one that actually got him to talk.
Instantly, too.
Yeah. It was like, he's like, I don't know, I just feel really comfortable with you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. But I won't say anymore because I've watched the entire thing, so I don't want to ruin it for you.
I need to catch up. We will circle back on this next week.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to start our episodes, talking about Love is Blind.
Yeah. If you guys watch Love is Blind, let us know what you think, who you guys think is going to end up together, who you think, I don't know, just your thoughts on who's on the show. And
I'm curious on what everyone's thought is on the concept of Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Just in general. What do you think? Because we've talked about it before.
Yeah, I think we've talked about almost every season on it. I think we agree on a lot of things, but I think we do. I think even the couples that end up together were kind of like, oh yeah, I saw that, or like, oh yeah, it wasn't gonna work out, or just certain things that happen in between. We're just kind of like, oh, I don't know. But that's just more of our personal opinions on the people on there. So
I think it's because you can have if you're a girl and you have a friend who's a boy, great. And if you are a boy and you have a friend that's a girl, what's the difference between you falling in love and having this partner and being a best friend or a really good friend? And I think a lot of it has to do with your attraction, your physical attraction. So that's just my opinion. I don't know if, quote unquote, that quote, love is blind. I'm not 100% on that being true, although I think that obviously there are outside aspects that are very important. But if you have two people and one of them you marry, the big difference between that best friend and your platonic best friend is likely that you're attracted to the one person, you know, however it is that they look. And I'm not saying that there's a specific look, but like for whatever reason, you're also physically attracted in that way.
Do you think that physical attraction matters?
I think that it is a part of the equation, that it is just a part of the equation. I'm not saying it's a large part or a bigger part, but I think it would be funny to completely negate it. So I don't blame the couples who don't end up together after they physically kind of like meet and see each other, and it's not just talking over the phone or through the wall.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting concept, and I do end up watching the show almost every season. So
yeah, I think they've had quite a few seasons now, and every season is interesting.
I think it's hilarious. And then what happens when they do see the people that they didn't pick? That's...
Oh, I know. Then the drama starts, and then you're like, oh, that's what she looked like. And then, yeah, I've already seen a few things where I'm just like,
Now I need to watch 7 episodes in one night. I don't know how I'm going to have time for this.
Catch up so we can talk about the rest of it before the rest of it comes out. So separately from that, someone else actually submitted a Am I the Bad Guy form. And I'm going to read it to you so that you can tell us, or we can talk about our thoughts on this. So this anonymous person says, a potential client DM'd me asking for pricing, stated multiple times they were in West LA. Gave them my pricing and immediately said, so are you going to give me a discount? I told her no, as the setup she was asking for required both florals and balloons. So then proceeded to ask for more added stuff, but for the same price, and said it's for a baby shower, and again said it was in West LA and that I will get a lot of clientele. I immediately had a bad gut feeling, and she made me feel terrible about my pricing. I politely declined, and she said I would regret it. I know I shouldn't feel bad, but I do, and she made me second guess my pricing. Was I the bad guy?
Absolutely not. Initial reaction. So 100%. There's probably a couple ways that you, I guess, maybe could have gone about it. One way would have been, I'm not sure if you gave the pricing and then she asked for a discount, or if she asked for the discount right off the bat. You could use it as a marketing thing. And okay, there's a price that you want to charge, and maybe because you know it's in a certain area, you want to charge a little bit higher and then submit a quote-unquote discounted price. But if the customer is not willing to pay the price that you are worth and that you have decided your business is worth, then you should pass on the client. And it also sounds like that's not the type of customer you want anyway. Especially if they're threatening you and you're saying, you know, you're going to regret it, because that sounds kind of silly.
Yeah, I think pricing is a big factor when it comes to your business. I think as a business owner, you have to know what you're worth. I know a lot of people have, I guess pricing is like a controversial topic, especially when you're just starting off, or you work in a certain area, state, or you do specific events. Some people even have minimums for their orders. So I think it is important, you know, to just know your worth and know what it is that you're kind of willing to deal with or take on. There are people that, you know, might just not have the budget to pay, I guess, for what it is that you're willing to offer. And that's perfectly fine. Not everybody is going to be, you know, the perfect customer for you. And some people, some people will just straight up front say, I don't have a budget, just make it look how I want it, and great. I don't think there's anything bad with stating your price. You just have to know what you're worth. And there's nothing wrong with saying no.
And you define that too. So like, it doesn't mean that 5 decorators getting the same job, you know, means that they're all going to charge X amount.
Yeah.
So at a certain point in your career, if you're newer or if you're a vet, if you have staff, if you have a warehouse, if you're working out of your apartment, if you're working out of your garage, whatever the case might be, that is going to dictate what type of quote and pricing you're going to be able to give your customer. Maybe you've been in the industry for a long time and you've got staff and you can get that job done and you've got connections and discounts or this or that. You might be able to offer a cheaper rate and maybe you have a system in place and you're more efficient.
Yeah.
But if you're doing this all on your own and you're still, let's just say, working out of your home and you have to bring on this person or that person, or you have to hire a part-timer or whatever the case might be, you know, your prices might be different because your expenses are different. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to charge enough so that you can sustain your business, pay for the supplies, pay for your time, the delivery and the installation. It's not just, hey, the balloons cost X, the flowers cost X, and I'm going to charge a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
It needs to be, hey, if I was working a job that was a 9 to 5 and I wanted to pay myself X amount per hour or whatever the case might be, how much should I charge?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, business is business and you're trying to make a living out of this. I mean, some of you are just kind of starting off and doing it as like a side gig. Others of you, this is your full-time job. So you're trying to pay the bills with it. You're trying to feed your kids or just make ends meet. And I think it is just important for you guys to just stick to your price. I mean, the people that really want your business and they want your quality of work will pay for it. And I guess to answer the question, no, I don't think that you are the bad guy. Yeah.
And LA Balloons supports your decision.
Yes.
For not taking that customer.
Yes.
Although, and there's going to be an option for them. So there's nothing to feel guilty about. You know, if you're not the decorator that they go with, we're literally in kind of the balloon capital of the world. So.
Yeah. I mean, we understand it from our perspective as distributors. We are not the only distributor, you know, everybody goes to different places out of, you know, the locations or whatever the case is. And it's the same thing with you guys as balloon decorators. So it's perfectly fine for one place to work for more people or for, how do you say it? Like, yeah, it's perfectly fine for them to go basically wherever they want. There's nothing wrong with it. And
maybe for that particular business, their price and the stage they are at in their business might work for that client. So it might be a better match. So just because you turn down a job, again, there's nothing to feel guilty about there.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps and you don't feel like the bad guy because we don't think that you are. And let us know if there's any other decorators out there that have maybe dealt with a similar situation and how you guys went about it. I know I've seen a couple stories and heard a couple stories from different balloon decorators and their experiences. So if you guys are more than willing to share, then we'd like to hear them and see how you guys handled it. So
it also kind of proves, I'm glad that that person incorporated, I guess they were trying to do florals and balloons.
Yes.
Because that is a trend that we are seeing that kind of started last year and just has been expanding. Silk flowers, real flowers, balloons, that combination of design and art and sculpture is something that we're expecting.
Yes. Did you, it's a good thing that they brought it up in their story time. Did you see the podcast that our friends at Lush Balloons were actually just
Shout out to Sean at Lush Balloons and Michelle.
Yes.
We did watch that clip.
I think in that podcast, Sean did a great job at explaining the...
Did you watch the whole podcast?
I watched the little part that he posted. I thought he did a great job at explaining, you know, the difference between having balloons at your wedding versus not having them versus combining the two. I think, like you mentioned, combining florals and balloons in the industry that we're in, especially at this moment, has become a huge trend. And it's amazing to see what everybody does and how they incorporate it together. It elevates everything that you guys are doing. But yeah, did you see the video?
I saw the clip and I'm going to agree with this point wholeheartedly. And, the point Sean was making was that, okay, if you are planning to do decor, obviously, and you did flowers, it's probably going to cost you a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
But if you did balloons, you're going to get the same amount of area covered in decor, maybe even bigger. And if he was going to do a wall, he would do it for a couple $100 or even $1,000 or $2,000. And you're going to get more bang for your buck. In the same sense, if you're using silk flowers and it's a rental, it's an investment. So again, I'm kind of adding to it. He didn't mention this, but like if you're doing balloons and if you're using silk flowers, you're going to be able to reuse that purchase so many times over because it's not consumable. It's going to be good for more than a couple hours. It's easier to work with. And, those are kind of the downsides of working with real floral.
Real florals, yeah.
Nothing against real floral. We still love flowers. But, for people looking to make extravagant decor for their big day, there's definitely a place for balloons. There's definitely a wow factor. And it can also be a little bit more cost effective at the same time.
Yeah. I think balloons, especially now, have definitely evolved from what they were a couple years back. I think before, having balloons at your wedding was kind of seen as like you were going to have just bouquets or something along those lines, where now it's like ceiling installations and there's like a whole organic decor, and it's not just balloon bouquets as you would, I guess maybe most people would imagine it to be. And I think just how you described it and how Sean kind of said, balloons just add like depth and dimension, and it's a great addition to your decor. Flowers are very expensive though. Do you know what ramo buchon is?
I do not know what ramo buchon is.
If you guys didn't know, we try to teach Andrew a little bit of Spanish every so often. My sister Diana actually has taught him.
Every so often.
Yes. We'll try to show him a few things. So do you want to share what you've learned so far?
If you have any suggestions on phrases you want me to learn, I will give them a shot. My favorite phrase in Spanish is "Me debes un gato." If you know what that means, translate it in the comments.
So that is Andrew's favorite phrase here to say in Spanish. But a ramo buchon is basically this giant bouquet of flowers. You saw the flowers that I was gifted.
I did. They were impressive. That was very large bouquet of flowers.
That it would technically be considered a ramo buchon.
Okay. Is there a certain number of flowers that need to be in it?
It just like, for my opinion, or like not like my perception of it, I guess, it just has to be a massive like amount of flowers. Like there's like 50 count, 75, 100. Like people go all out with these bouquets. A bouquet that you would get at like Vaughn's or like any of the street vendors, like
generally like plus or minus 24.
Yeah, like that would technically not be considered a ramo buchon. That would just be a bouquet of flowers.
A giant bouquet.
It's like a giant bouquet of flowers. Yeah. Okay. But even that alone, like I've seen the price for something like that where it's like 100 flowers and people are charging like $200 to $300 for a bouquet like that. So I can imagine the cost and the value of just having real flowers in your decor. And that's just a small example. Like I don't know how much these flowers are, these little,
Guarantee you, if any of you are married, I'm sure many of you are, as soon as you start getting quotes for floral, you are in the multiple thousands.
Yeah.
So there is no balloon wall. You can get a balloon wall for $500. You can get it for $800.
Yeah.
And that is a great backdrop for photos and videos and reels and whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But to get the same version of that in floral,
it adds up. So I think adding balloons to your, incorporating both of them together, I think is a great way to just stay within your budget. I had the same thing for my birthday, and instead of the real florals, because flowers are beautiful, but they're gonna die.
Keep them alive?
Yeah, they're gonna die eventually, and of course they look beautiful, but they are also expensive. So I used some of the floral from LA Balloons and cut them up, put them into the decor that was made for me. A shout out to Cruz Decorations for my backdrop. And that was it. Like, it just adding the flowers on there, like, made the whole thing so much nicer.
Put a little picture up there somewhere.
Yeah, I'll insert it somewhere around here. But I thought
still learning how to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, like I think it's also just kind of like, what is it, like a learning curve for everybody. I know it's scary to kind of incorporate new things, not just florals, but also like balloon drop nuts. Balloon drop nuts are a big thing, and a lot of people are scared to incorporate that or have it available for people in their business because they're not familiar with it. So I think both of those things are just, I don't know, just a learning curve. I don't remember what my point of this was, but flowers are expensive.
Oh, I think ultimately it's flowers are expensive.
Yeah.
I think though, is it Ramo Buchon?
Un ramo buchon.
Ramo Buchon. Okay.
Ramo
Buchon. Going back to that though, ironically, another balloon trend in the market, I think this year, which we've already kind of seen with Valentine's Day, is just giant balloons. So these giant 64-inch hearts, which are also giant spheres, those giant PVC mirror balloons, which, by the way, may or may not be available for rental as well as purchase.
Yes.
So if you've been thinking about it for all of your corporate clients, we are working on a rental program for those giant mirror balloons.
Yes.
So likely the people who will be purchasing them, maybe celebrities, but maybe corporate clients, but anyone who wants to make a big splash at their event, and kind of go over the top. I did see them in the mall at the Glendale Galleria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said you guys, you didn't even look at the text message. I sent in the group chat. We have a work group chat. So,
when?
Obviously that was ignored. So that, I think it's a store called
it as red.
Bindi, but they had like 4 or 5 of those giant spheres at their grand opening event thing. So I was literally like walking home from the gym and there they were.
I do remember. I do. Actually, now I'm trying to think, but I think because I had also sent a picture of the group chat to one of the businesses around here that had like an outside like design of that too. But I think we've seen them quite a bit. I guess you've seen them. I've seen them. They're a big hit. So I think having them as rentals is going to help a lot of you. So,
and that way, you know, you can test them out and then you can get the job without having to commit the investment right away in, you know, the thing. But ultimately, if you're renting 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and you're still doing that, you're definitely missing out on a business opportunity by not having invested in purchasing the helium tank or the giant PVC balloon, or whatever the case might be. I would only ever recommend the rental if it's kind of like I do this once a year.
Yeah. I think everything is an investment. I mean, the PVC balloons, a helium tank, classes, anything that is going to essentially just give you more knowledge or help your business is a good investment decision. Going back to your point about the giant balloons, everything giant just seems to be
it's the
trending.
Thing for this year.
Yeah. The ramo buchon, the giant hearts, the PVC balloons. I don't know. Go big or go home, I guess.
2024, go big or go home. But definitely comment, send us a message, let us know what you think or what you're seeing the trends are. But for me, it's pretty obvious that that's where this year is kind of going. And, you know, it's only a month and a half in, but giant balloons, one way or the other. Circle, heart, shape, star, whatever the case might be. I think we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I think with the balloons being so big, I think a lot of things also is transport is a big thing. So if you guys have any recommendations for everybody else on how you guys transport them, do you guys blow them up on site? What inflator do you guys use? Because a lot of people, helium is expensive. And so I think a lot of people's worries is also that it's a 64-inch balloon. How much helium is it going to take? How much am I going to end up having to sell this balloon for? Because the helium is just expensive itself. I don't know.
I think that's another investment too, is just learning about helium. How much helium you've got in the tank, how many balloons does that inflate? measuring using cubic feet. There are helium balloon calculators online that you can just search up on Google. So you can kind of get an estimate. If I've got this many balloons and this size, how many can I fill up, or how many cubic feet of helium? We get that question a lot. So if you email us, give us as much information as you can, and we can give you an estimate. There are a lot of variables, but helium should still be a part of your business, and using things like the 60/40 outlet from Premium Con will help you save, so that obviously you're making good financial decisions, and you can make that tank last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, good point.
I feel like we've kind of gone on like a lot of different topics, but we're really just
I've got a paper
having a conversation. Andrew has a few bullet points.
I do.
So what do you have on that sheet?
Oh, actually, let's circle back since we're talking about helium and air and all that stuff.
Okay.
We're going to try this out. This is this or that. What do you prefer? What do you like? Who, what, where, when, or why?
Okay.
Helium versus air decor.
Versus
would you rather get a giant helium bouquet, or would you rather get, or maybe use, organic decor or air decor? It doesn't have to be organic. It can be classic.
I am not a balloon decorator, and I have worked here for several years, but I don't have the same knowledge that Andrew has when it comes to decorating, to the tips and the tricks, and do this versus that, use whatever it is, fishing line versus, I don't know, whatever else is out there. You would think that I would know these things, but I don't.
Karen is here for her operational excellence.
Yeah, I love seeing everything that you guys do, but I just...
people management skills.
Yeah, I don't have the same knowledge that he does. So from my perspective, with that being said, I think I would go for air versus helium. Why? Just because I think of the cost for helium, and helium is pricey. And then I think it's actually like the few things that I've done for me, like I think air just seems a little bit more manageable, more doable. Like I don't know, I just would go with air for some reason. So
fair enough. Classic versus organic.
Ooh, organic. I like to see the things that people come up with organic. Not everybody uses the same techniques. Like some people do, what is the term for it? When you make like a quad but with one balloon.
Bubble twist, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I like that. And then in people's organic decor, they do like their little quads with the 5-inch, and it looks like a little string of balloons.
The mini garland.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we've got the vocabulary words down now.
I don't know the actual terms, but I do
like that style.
Yeah, I like the style of it just flowing more naturally rather than it being like quad, like that stuff, sort of stuff. So.
All right. Moving on. Latex versus mylar versus plastic.
Ooh.
Thoughts, preferences, which ones you like?
I feel like latex is my answer. Because I feel like latex you can just manipulate in different forms, whether that's like a 260, 11-inch, 36-inch. Plastic, I haven't really had a chance to... Like
the bubble balloons?
Yeah, like other than that, like all I know is like the gems and like the aqua balloons, or a lot of you guys call them bobo balloons. I've only ever seen them as like in bouquets or being like stuffed with certain things, versus like foils, I think just come in standard shapes, I guess. And then the latex is, I think just you can manipulate it in different styles.
You like the latex because there's more things that you can do with it.
There's more things that you can do, and the colors that I've seen from just everybody, I think. The colors are out there, and double stuffing and by themselves, like I would go with latex. Latex is my answer.
Fair. Yeah. Okay, and then my last question. This is a surprise. I don't know if you even went through this. Did you go through this?
I didn't. I don't know what points he has on his paperwork.
So where do you think helium bouquets are going in the next year or few years?
Ew.
Helium bouquet deliveries.
I think helium bouquets, I think they'll always be around no matter what. I think they are a great and safe. I want to say gift. Because a lot of people, you know, you think of someone's birthday and you're kind of like, what do I get them? And you run over to wherever it is and you go and get them like a number 21 for their birthday, or you get them like a star for Mother's Day or whatever the occasion is. I think they'll always be around. I think people have definitely like elevated them with like the fringe, bigger like arrangements, or just kind of making some sort of organic decor, but also still adding a bouquet to it. Or the heirlooms, people use the heirlooms and then they attach like some sort of bouquet to add something to the heirloom. I think they'll definitely still be around. I don't think that they're gonna stay as traditional as maybe they used to be, but I think they'll always be around. So
cute.
That's my opinion.
All right, fair.
Can I ask you these questions?
You can.
All
yes.
right. Can I borrow your paper? Because I don't remember. Okay, so the first one was helium versus air.
I would go with air. I prefer doing things with air as a recreational decorator. I really do enjoy making this stuff, but I have to shout out every decorator who shops with us and just does balloon decor, because the speed at which you can accomplish a wall, garlands, decor the whole room, decorate the whole room, I like to do it leisurely. I've taken 2 or 3 days to do like a design before, and you know, I do it for the fun of it and to learn, and to when someone gives me a tip or trick on how to do something, or if I see something that I like that I want to I guess emulate, or a style that I like, but I really do it as an artist who's not getting paid, which I think is why it's still fun for me.
That's a good answer. Next, what is this? This or that, you said, right? Classic or organic decor?
Gotta go with organic. So I came into the balloon business as organic was taking off. Fun fact, when I started at LA Balloons, Steven had told me, just type in hashtag organic balloon decor or organic balloons on Instagram. And I clicked the picture and it was on an organic balloon decor in front of a pool. And I was like, wow, like this is really cool. I'd never seen anything like it before. And it was probably my first week, and I was ringing up a customer and I was meeting people. It just so happened, I was like, what is your balloon business? She said, Party Shop Avenue. And it was Deandra. And I was like, oh, can I see your work? She showed me your work. I was like, that's you? The very first balloon decor image I'd ever seen that I was so impressed by was actually Deandra's, and I was ringing her up back in 2018 when the walk-in store was still here. So, and then at that point, I became a fan. So she's like a celebrity to me.
You're famous at LA Balloons, Deandra.
Which she also has a podcast now, so check it out.
Oh yeah, she did.
I gotta look up the name of that, but I know she just recently came out with it.
I think it's creative something.
Maybe we'll have to have her on one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. She can teach us what she knows about podcasting, because
she got a whole setup.
Yeah,
very professional.
She does look very professional. So maybe we'll have her on here sometime. Okay, next question: latex or mylar or plastic balloons?
Gotta go with latex for sure. And it's a good time. Shout out to our official sponsor, Tuftex. We actually have a sponsor for the podcast.
Dude, that's exciting. I'm glad that they were able to take a chance on us. It's exciting, you know, that they're part of this journey with us. So shout out Tuftex Balloons for being our official sponsor of On Air with LA Balloons.
And it just so happens that we both picked latex over mylar and plastic. But yeah, I agree with all the points you just made. I also think it's a lot more reliable. It's very pliable. I like when it does get oxidized. I also like when it's shiny in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
But that is the one that I'm more familiar with working with. So yes, that's my vote.
Latex balloons. All right. I think that was it, right?
I think that is it, yes.
All right.
Oh, where are helium bouquets going?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay.
It's funny. I actually think helium bouquets may have a comeback.
Okay.
That is my guess, especially when I saw those giant hearts being inflated. That is just one giant balloon, but technically you add 2 or 3 more of those size, it's a bouquet. Yeah. Okay. And it is helium, and there is something that is just a wow factor about a floating balloon or a floating thing. You know, it does its own thing. It wants to go up. It bounces around. So it is, I think there's kind of like a magic to it, let's just say. And so I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I do think it will have a little bit more of a moment maybe in the next year or two, especially with these giant balloons kind of coming out. Yeah. That's my guess. Sticking to it.
All right. Well, it sounds like you just copied all my answers, but just kidding. That's the end of this or that. Yes. But it doesn't have to be the end of the podcast.
What else do we want to talk about?
I think we've covered a good amount of topics. Just to recap, we talked about florals and balloons. We've talked about giant balloons. We've talked about ramos buchones. Now that I say that...
And we talked about Love is Blind.
Oh, yeah, Love is Blind. Now that I say that, do you guys want to hear more Spanish videos? Do we talk more in Spanish? A lot of our customers speak Spanish. We want everybody to get a kick out of Andrew and I talking on here to just understand, you know, what it is that we're doing, just overall, not just on the podcast. We want to include every single one of you to be to listen.
That's a great question.
Yes.
I'm going to do my best to speak Spanish, but most of the Spanish speaking will be probably from Karen.
Maybe by season 1, by the end of this season, Andrew will say more than me debes un gato. We'll keep showing him, but he does know a little bit of Spanish.
Maybe that can be a segment. What's the Spanish phrase of the day?
Spanish phrase of the day.
You guys can submit. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Submit. Give me the phrase you want me to learn, and then Karen will try to teach it to me.
Yes. Send us whatever your thoughts are. Any words that you think you should know, any phrases that you think you should know. We're trying to keep them away from the bad words because those are very easy to learn. So
please. Oh, another fun fact. My wife Liz is half El Salvadorian, half Spanish, and half Italian. Although neither one of us speaks.
But she understands it.
But she understands
it. She listens to Spanish music as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so she has it in her. We just gotta bring it out. So bring it out of her and Andrew. So let us know if you guys want more videos in Spanish. I will do my best to have those videos for you guys, include Andrew in there. Yeah, I think that's it for...
Wait, we're not done.
Oh, just kidding.
We do have more stuff that we've got to cover today.
Okay.
Balloon news, industry news, events. Who's going to float 2024? Ellie Balloons is. Well, you're not. I'm sorry.
I will stay back here in Glendale to make sure that all your orders.
Warehouse, okay? So you were at Tough Tech's Experience, and you will also be going to the Tough Tech's event in April.
Yes.
So if you haven't heard, Tough Tech's is going to be in Vegas in April, going to the chapel. It will be bachelorette, bridal, and wedding themed.
Yes.
And I believe the teachers are going to be Confetti Castle, OC Events, and Little Party Girl Co.
Yes.
So check it out. Limited seats available. Jump on the Tough Tech's Instagram for more information on that. But I'm excited for that.
Let us know what your experiences are at Float if you've ever attended. Or if it's your first time, what you enjoy about it. Let us know if you're going to Vegas. Maybe we can all carpool together and go to Vegas.
Karen will 100% be there. And then you will see maybe me or maybe Steven. One of us will be there with her.
Either way, whichever one of us goes,
it's going to be fun.
We're buying drinks, guys. We're going to, on the car, just send us money for some drinks and see what we get. But
we're committing to it now.
Don't worry, there will be drinks. You guys love them. You guys love the margaritas at, what event was that?
They were a hit. Was it?
Was it GlobalCon?
Was that GlobalCon? That was GlobalCon.
Yeah, was it? Okay.
And then... we did them on the boat at the Tough Tech's Experience.
Yes.
And I don't know where else.
We did them a few times at the Tough Text experience, and you guys love them. You guys are all a great time.
It was funny. Someone asked me when we were setting up for the Tough Text experience, the booth, or circle floral design. People had come up to me and said, like, "Where are the margaritas?" And I'm like, I wasn't even there for that one.
The margaritas were a hit at GlobalCon. Steven and I had a long line of people wanting margaritas, and they kept coming back. And then Tough Text experience, we had a few drinks with different people, and hopefully we're able to do that for you guys in Vegas. Maybe I won't commit to buying you guys drinks yet because I have to run it through the company. But we'll definitely have a great time together, and hopefully there's a lot of you.
And whether I come or not, Karen will be drinking the drinks for me, since I do not partake in the drinking.
Yeah,
she's gonna have to do double. So
he doesn't. Maybe we'll take his wife, and then she can have some drinks with us because she has drinks. So we'll have a good time all together.
She's more fun than I am. So I think that's everything I've got for today.
I think so. I think again, we talked about a lot of things. The events that are coming up, Flow, and the
Tough Text
event
in Vegas in April.
What is the name of that?
It is going to the chapel.
Going to the chapel
with Tough Text.
Yes. So check it out. I know that they did their announcement on Instagram. Flow, I mean, everybody knows it's a once a year event.
It's going to be huge this year. I think there's over 800 or 850 people who are going to attend.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Float, or if you've never been, highly recommend.
Yeah.
Definitely a place where you can learn a lot about whether it's decor, building your business, also networking and meeting other people who are in the same spot as you, who maybe been in the same situation you've been in, or on the opposite side, maybe they're decorators that you look up to and you want to meet and just have a conversation with or hang out with.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. You'll be at Float. I'll be at I forgot the name again. Going to the chapel. Going to the chapel. I just know it's in Vegas and it's going to be a great time. Okay.
Yeah. If you know Tough Text, they always make a great time.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, looking forward to the events. Let us know if there's other events that are coming up that we might not know about. Any classes. I know a lot of people are interested in classes all the time. Sandra from Plan My Party LA has a class coming up in March. So you guys might want to look out for that. Reach out to her and join that. If you're not able to maybe attend like Float or going to the chapel with Tough Text in Vegas. But yeah, I think that's it for today. I think we covered a lot. Yeah. Submit more of the stories that you guys have. We want to hear like your best, your worst, your funniest, really
any topics you want us to discuss.
Yeah, like anything that you guys want us to talk about.
Informational, educational, or fun.
Yeah, really anything.
Give us the chisme.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's my Spanish for you.
He knows that word in Spanish. So yes, spill the tea, give us the chisme, and we would love to talk about it. So thank you guys for joining us again on episode 2 of On Air with LA Balloons. It's always a great time, and that's it.
Cool.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you next Monday.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Good job.
Yay.
Episode 2. Woo!
Yes. I wonder if they noticed our matching hoodies.
Oh, did they?
They're kind of cool, right?
They are. I like the color.
Tell us if they're cool.
Andrew.
Guess who what am I, a millennial? Whatever they are.
Are we millennials or are we Gen Zs?
I'm definitely a millennial or an X-lennial from what I've looked up.
What's an X-lennial?
Like between Gen X and millennial, like I'm like the happy
like you're like between. Borderline, one or the other? Oh, I didn't know that.
I've got the best of both worlds, but I don't know.
Okay, Hannah Montana. Okay, well.
We're moving on. We got the bloopers. How was it? Thank you to Tough Text for sponsoring On Air with LA Balloons.
We will see you guys next episode. Bye.